The air inside the ballroom smelled of roses and champagne, but underneath it, I could taste bitterness. My sister's wedding, glittering chandeliers, a sea of silk gowns, the clinking of crystal glasses. Everyone kept smiling at me like I was a golden angel. "Zariya, you're incredible," they whispered. "What a generous gift. Your sister is so lucky." I smiled back with my teeth pressed together, my hands tightening around the stem of my champagne flute until I thought it would shatter in my fingers. $15,000. That's what people believed I had gifted my sister and her husband. A fat, shiny check, wrapped in gold paper, handed over with grace and wealth, a statement of power. But I hadn't given them a single cent. My parents had told everyone the lie, weaving it into the fabric of the wedding like it was a decoration. It started 2 weeks earlier when my mother called me into the kitchen. She was slicing mangoes with surgical precision, her gold bangles clinking against each other. She didn't look up when she said, "Zariya, we've told everyone you're giving your sister $15,000 for her wedding." I remember laughing at first because I thought it was a joke. "You what?" Her knife pressed down on the cutting board, hard. "It makes us look united. It makes us look strong as a family. People will talk, you know. Your sister marrying into such a wealthy family. They mustn't think we're small." I felt my blood drain. "But I don't have 15,000 to give away. I'm not made of money." My father entered then, his voice like a verdict. "It's already been said. You'll be seen as generous, successful, important. Your reputation will grow. Don't argue, don't embarrass us. It wasn't a request, it was a decree." That night I lay awake staring at the ceiling, fury crawling through me like fire ants. All my life I'd been the scapegoat, the one who made sacrifices, the one who kept her mouth shut. My parents had always favored my sister, lavishing her with attention, praising her beauty, her choices, her victories. I was the shadow child, useful only when I could serve as contrast or resource, and now they wanted to use me as a prop, a walking bank account. At first I thought maybe I could let it slide. Maybe I could just stay quiet and let the lie float above me like smoke. But as the wedding day approached, and as more relatives called me to gush about my generosity, something inside me hardened. Each word of false praise was like a needle stabbing deeper into my skin. I knew then I wouldn't stay silent. The day of the wedding was a theater of extravagance. Gold, trimmed invitations, a white horse carriage. My sister walked down the aisle dripping with diamonds my parents had paid for, smiling like she was royalty. Guests whispered about me as I passed by. "That's her, the sister who gave 15,000. Such devotion." I felt like screaming, but instead I smiled because I already had a plan. At the reception, as everyone ate roasted lamb and sipped champagne, my father stood and tapped his glass. "Now, before the speeches begin," he boomed, "we must acknowledge the incredible generosity of our eldest daughter, Zariya. She has gifted her sister $15,000 as a symbol of her love. Truly, what a blessing." The applause thundered. My sister's eyes sparkled as she looked at me, smug, basking in the lie like it was sunlight. That was my cue. I stood slowly, my heart thundering in my chest, my palms danced. The microphone felt heavy in my hands. I took a breath, and when I spoke, my voice cut through the ballroom like a blade. I didn't give my sister $15,000. The room froze. Utensils clinked onto plates. My mother's face drained of color. My father shifted, eyes narrowing into knives. My sister blinked, her smile faltering. I let the silence hang, letting it tighten like a noose. Then I continued. "I need you all to know the truth. My parents lied to you. They told you I gifted this money. They wanted you to believe I was pouring out wealth to match appearances. But I did not, and I will not." Murmurs rippled through the crowd, sharp whispers cutting the air. I could feel my mother's eyes burning into me, a silent plea for silence. But I wasn't finished. "All my life," I said, my voice steady, "I've been told to stay quiet, to carry the weight, to make sacrifices so others could shine. Tonight, they wanted to use me as a tool to elevate themselves in this wedding. But I refuse. I will not wear a crown made of lies. My sister stood, her voice shaking. Zariya, stop this. You're ruining everything. I turned to her, meeting her eyes. Ruining everything or exposing everything? Do you know what it feels like to have your own parrots reduce you to a wallet? To parade you like a trophy while they strip you of dignity? They may have raised us both, but only one of us has ever been loved without condition. And it wasn't me. Her lips trembled. My father slammed his hand against the table. Enough, sit down, Zariya. But I didn't sit. I looked out at the sea of faces, people leaning forward, shocked, captivated, waiting. So, no, I said, voice sharp as glass. I did not give $15,000, but I will give a gift, a different kind of gift, one that cannot be wrapped in paper or tied with a bow. I paused, letting the tension stretch until it felt unbearable. The truth. Gasps broke through the crowd. My chest felt like it might burst, but it wasn't fear anymore. It was liberation. And then, for the final cut, I turned to my sister and smiled. You want to know what I actually gave you? I gave you my silence for years. I gave you my obedience, my sacrifices, the way I swallowed pain while you were celebrated. But tonight I take all of that back. My real gift to you, dear sister, is freedom from the lies our parents built. Because from this moment on, I'm done carrying them. The ballroom was chaos now. Half the guests stared at me with wine their eyes, others muttered behind their hands. My father covered her face. My father glared at me like I had destroyed him. And my sister, her mascara began to smear, the perfect bride, unraveling under the weight of my words. I set the microphone down, the sound echoing like a gavel, and then, without waiting for permission, I walked out, past the chandeliers, past the roses, past the carefully constructed illusion of a perfect family. The night air outside was cool, sharp against my skin. I could still hear the distant echo of voices, frantic and angry, inside the ballroom. But with every step I took away from that place, I felt lighter. That was the night I finally chose myself. That was my revenge. Not money, not violence, but the truth, delivered like a blade in the middle of their carefully staged play. And the best part? They'll never escape it. Every person who was there that night will remember what I said, will carry it home, they'll whisper it at dinners and parties. The lie is dialed. For once, I wasn't the shadow child. I was the fire.